While the upstate mountains of Pennsylvania are not world-renowned national parks, like Zion or Yosemite, I always look forward to returning to the small mountain town I grew up in and visiting family. It's easy for me to get so busy with work and life that entire weeks can sometimes blend together. A life-giving, restful trip to the mountains where time slows down is exactly what I need to reset and feel more balanced. The spring months in Pennsylvania can be a bit unpredictable. Starting the trip with a day of cold rain kept me inside by the fire, enjoying the peace and quiet, and planning for which of my old favorite hikes I would go explore the next morning. After enjoying a cup of coffee and watching the sun rise out over the lake, I packed my bag and headed out the door.
Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I am out hiking in the backwoods of Pennsylvania, not far from where I grew up. I'm going to hit the trail behind me and see if there's anything worth photographing.
To start off my morning of hiking, I went to one of my favorite trails, along a small creek that winds through a dense pine forest. I was hoping for a little bit better light, but I decided I would stick around and work with the conditions. Not much longer after I headed into the woods, the clear blue skies overhead started to cloud over, introducing a lot more even light across some of the woodland scenes.
I'm getting some light on and off as the clouds overhead blow through, so I'm gonna wait for a little bit better lighting and grab this image. But in particular, I like how the one tree cutting through the middle is just balancing with the roots all exposed towards the bottom of the frame, and the creek is snaking along off into the distance with the clear sky reflecting overhead. So I am set at ISO 100 f11 and it's pretty dark, so I bet this is going to be probably about a 1 second exposure. So go ahead and grab this image.
One other part of this hike that I really enjoy is the low mossy swampland that permeates the region. In particular, I like this region where there's a lot of dead, crisscrossing trees laying across the forest floor. There was a number of interesting subjects in this region, so I set up 2 photographs, focused specifically on the crisscrossing trees laying in the moss with the winding creek snaking through the scene. While this second scene is a little bit more chaotic, I like the balance between the dead trees at the bottom and the living trees at the top of the image. The creek winding through the middle offers a nice balance and point of separation between the two groups of trees. In a sense, it tells a story of life and death, of growth and rebirth in the forest. I hiked a little bit further along the trail, hoping to find some other interesting images. However, the light was fading fast, and I decided to head back and get something to eat. I also decided to stop on the way home and listen to one of my favorite sounds: tree frogs chirping, happy that the warm weather had finally returned. Little did they know that in just 12 hours, the weather was going to take quite a turn. Remember what I said on my first day here? Unpredictable.
So last night we got maybe 1.5 inches of snow, and it's one of those wet late spring snows that kind of clings to everything. So I'm out this morning hiking around a little bit, seeing if I can find a bit of an interesting set of images that shows just how quickly the spring season can change compared to the 65 and sunny degree day that I was out hiking yesterday. So gonna hit the trail, see if I can find some cool images. So what's really cool is I'm kind of hiking around through all of these low hanging tree branches, just little bits of snow clinging to them. Makes for a kind of cool, dreamlike morning hike. And I guess getting snow on the first day of April is probably not what people around here are most excited to see. But man, I don't get snow in Southern California, so I think this is awesome. Look at that behind me. Coming up on this clearing ahead of me. I think I might make for some cool images up there, so I'll flip you around, show you the scene, and see if we can find anything cool. Once I came through into this clearing, I found a scene that I had been searching for quite some time, which is a scene of fall leaves clinging on to a tree covered in snow. So I haven't been able to find one of these scenes in the fall, so I will take it in the late spring. I've got the one little young beech tree with the leaves and the snow clinging to it, and then a couple of dark tree trunks surrounding it, and a few other smaller trees with some of the snow clinging to the branches still. So I really like this image, and I think that rolling out of bed before sunrise will be worth it if this is the only one that I get. So set at f6.3 to let the background fade off, not be super sharp. ISO 100, about a 15th of a second, and right at around 35 millimeters. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my video camera down, and grab this image.
I didn't make it too much further from that last spot before I found the next two images I'm going to make. The first being this scene where if you look over this way, there is a tree with all of the snow clinging to its branches, kind of tucked in behind these much bigger trunks. And if I pan along to the right, you'll see intermittent dark tree trunks with some snow clinging to the branches around them. So I made a 4-image panorama of this scene, and I think it'll look really cool, especially with this really flat early morning light. And the other image that I'm going to grab is actually the tree I shot just a moment ago, but from the other direction with the backlight, and it looks like the snow is clinging more to the other side. You can actually see more of the leaves changing from this perspective. So I'm going to set up and grab this image as well. And I think it looks kind of cool with the one dark tree trunk kind of cutting through the middle, and it looks like it's almost hiding out for cover behind the darker trunk. This image will end up being the last one that I grabbed this morning before I decide to hike home, get some breakfast, and get warmed up a bit. I really like how this one tree is kind of standing by itself, with the branches are all very symmetrically drooping with the snow cover on them, and there's not much around it, so I think I can use a bit of a longer lens and get a softer background, make that tree really stand out, look kind of 3D with a shallower depth of field. So I'm gonna set up my 5DSR, grab this image, and then hike home.
While I typically prefer fall for most of my photography trips, there's something to be said about the unpredictability of spring. This morning's beautiful winter showing was just one example of that. I know I really enjoyed the snow, especially since I didn't have to suffer through a freezing winter season to see it. I hope you enjoyed these images. Thanks as always for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.